as you will have seen, we've had a pretty busy day. It's one way for poor old Hart to spend in sick day, but he did earn himself a juicy amount of pocket money for helping us. I mean, juicy when you're 7. And I'm just bringing my compost. I said I was going to do half an hour a day, even though I've done a lot of lifting and garden related stuff today. I'm doing my half an hour. So I've got some compost and I'm going to do some potting on. So yeah, I'm doing my half an hour and I'm just currently looking for some seed trays because I'm going to do a bit of potting on. But I'm struggling to find pots and space, but I've got some. So I'm going to crack on and do that right now. Actually already quite dark, but I am prioritising thinning out. So far I've done my Gadisha into 6 cell trays. These Achillea are looking really too big in there, so they're going to be next, and then I'm going to do some of my bigger ranunculus because they are massively outgrowing their cell. If I pop one of these out, you'll see what I mean. Oh, the roots don't look that bad actually, but they're getting really, this one will have big roots. They're getting really big, so they need their own pot. It's ranunculus time. So once your ranunculus have woken up in their cell trays and they've got plenty of foliage like this, you'll notice that the roots grow really quickly. So it's then time to pot them up into their own pot. I like to use a 9cm pot. They're going to have plenty of space in here to grow until they get planted out next year once the risk of frost has gone. I'm telling you now, when you're on a roll, you need to try this. If you set yourself a 30-minute timer and you know that's all you've got, it makes you work so hard. I've literally done more in this half an hour than I do when I've got a whole weekend to garden, because you know you're limited on time, so you're just like, ah, I've got to get it done. So I'm now putting on some Lavatera, which were my favourite cut flower of 2024. I grew them from seed, annual. They were just amazing. Anyway, my seedlings currently look like this. Look at all those roots. And now they are going in their own 9cm pots. But I need to have a really good word with myself about how many of these I need to keep, because at the moment I've got about 50. He's only gone and done it. Yes. 30 minutes of jobs done. It's now nearly dark. I almost talked myself out of doing it, but I'm so glad that I did, because I have made a dent in the potting on. I'm going to show you what I did. It might not look like a lot, but it's all these little jobs that you do and that you get done that add up to the bigger difference. So I had this tray of seedlings which were far too crowded and the cells were too small. So that is 8 of these gorgeous Lavatera now potted on. And it now has put me in a position where I really need to think carefully about how many I actually need to keep and how many maybe I can give to friends or take to school, because that is a lot to be having in my greenhouse when I've got lots of other things growing. So I always grow too many. I haven't possibly got space for everything. The next thing I did was this tray of ranunculus that were waking up. The biggest of them are now in their own pots. So that is 6 of the biggest now potted on. So that is a really good job done, that they are done. I watered some verbascum. What did I do next? Oh, I potted on, what did I do with them? I potted on a load of these Achillea. I kind of lost them. I found them. So these Achillea, they are going to be white, and they are now in their own 9cm pots. They've got much more space, and again that then gives me an opportunity to think, how many do I need? And actually all of these are also going to go into a 9cm, but then I've got a whole another tray. Do I need another 12? I don't think I do. So I need to think very carefully and plan where they're going to go. Do I need another 12? I think the answer is definitely not. Then that is a tray that I can give away. So you'll see that once you start doing your final potting on, it will free you up space, and it will kind of give you an idea of what you need for next year. And what I mean by final potting on is that once they're out of a cell tray and in a 9 centimetre like that, they're not going to need to go into a pot any bigger than that before they get planted in the ground. So that is the final size. There's going to be no more potting on after that. The growth will slow down as we go into the winter. Our job is just to make sure that the leaves are protected from frost, so that's why I used frost fleece. And yeah, we've just got to make sure that they're watered, given a little liquid seaweed feed if they need a top up, but it's just our job to keep them alive until spring. And then when the risk of frost has gone, possibly around April time, although sometimes I do plant out earlier if I'm prepared to then frost fleece them in the border if I've done an early planting out. But that's our job, to then keep them in that size until next year. Then this is like a whole tray of cornflowers, a whole tray of poppies. I'm going to have trays and trays of larkspur. So yeah, it just gives you a really good opportunity in November to have a look at what you've got growing. Hopefully everything's germinated. You might have small seedlings still like me, like these little snapdragons, which I will thin out. And obviously they're going to need a tray as well. So you just really have to kind of do a bit of stock rotation and a bit of a reality check. What do you need? What are you just a little bit obsessed with and can't bear to give away because you've grown it? We all do it. We all have too much of things. But that's why planning everything, planning your containers, planning your borders really helps you to understand how many you need to fill your garden. And the great thing is, we've all grown enough to fill about 20 people's gardens. And that is the joy of growing from seed and being able to grow so many plants, that we've got the options. We've got the options to give away because we know our gardens are going to be too full. Anyway, that's a wrap. I'm so pleased with that. I'm now going to rush in, go and have a shower, and then I am off to be basketball mum. Oh my god, it's so dark.